Marriage in the 21st century has got to be the worst contract for modern men in the history of mankind. You literally sign a deal where you hand over all of your power to a child with breasts, sign away your rights to future peace leave, allow the government to penalize you for doing your partner wrong, or if they did you wrong, and overall you sign away having a life, sex life, peace, quiet and freedom until you die or end in an inevitable divorce. Who on earth would take that deal? Well, I'm not going to smoke our marriage guys who are watching this video. I'll give you guys a pass. But the hope strategists who have this information and understand that even a prenup isn't enough to save their goofy butt and they still want to go on bending knee, I can't respect you guys. And the worst part is these men believe that they're going to prove me wrong and showing that they can make it work when they haven't even been married for over a decade. Do you see why I hate hope strategists? Look, gents, it is clear that marriage, especially in the United States, is a scam set up to take money and resources from men and transfer it to judges, lawyers, government agencies, and lastly, women. That is the harsh reality. There's no God in marriages in the United States. If you are getting divorce scraped to kingdom come and you are losing everything, you cannot mention God in the family courts and they will have mercy on you while you're bleeding money. That's not how it works. Nobody will care about you or Sky Daddy in that courtroom, and in your personal life, nobody will help or care about what you're going through. As a matter of fact, even the people closest to you will side with your ex-wife and leave you out to dry. It's lonely for men, so before you walk a 304 down the aisle, consider what you have to lose versus what you have to gain, and I promise you that you will learn real fast that marriage is not worth it. Will some of you watching this video have a successful marriage? Maybe one or two of you might, but are you willing to flip a coin to find out? Are you willing to take a chance to discover if you'll lose everything you worked so hard to build and have another man move into the house you bought, be a parent to your kids and pound out your ex-wife's wet vice grip on the bed that you bought? Are you willing to take that risk, brothers? Because right now, there's a man that's sleeping in his car while his wife is cuddling with her new boyfriend after he blew her back out in the warm bed that her ex-husband bought. That is what may happen for those of you who choose to get married going forward, so the choice is yours on what you think is best for your life. If you ignore what I'm saying and still go ahead and get married, then I wish you all the best. I still think you'd be dumb to make that move, but I've learned that most men must learn the hard way before they finally get it. With that said, I found an article in the New York Post titled, "What I Learned from Sleeping with 8 Men in a Year After My Messy Divorce at 47, that will prove my point of why men need to stop marrying modern ex-exes. So grab a cold beer and some chicken tenders and let's dive into this atrocity." Laura Williams was living her dream life, 3 children, a devoted husband, a Manhattan apartment, and a country house, when her husband dropped the bomb that he was having an affair. The confession came out of left field. The pair had known each other since college and had been married for 22 years. "Our sex life wasn't great anymore. There wasn't really any passion between us, but I had expected that," says Williams, who adds that she had anticipated growing old beside her ex. She promptly ordered him out of the house, began divorce proceedings, and 5 months later was dating again, making up for lost time. "I was 47 years old, and I expected to be with the same man for the rest of my life," recalls Williams, now 51 and living in downtown Manhattan. After finding herself single at 47 after 22 years of marriage, Laura Williams started to make up for lost time and found a new freedom in dating. Alright gents, before I roast this woman, let me take the time out to offer some words of advice to you married guys. If you are married, do not cheat on your wife because it will never end well for you. You guys already know that you'll get penalized if you cheat, and if she cheats, you get punished, so it makes zero sense to cheat if you're married. Just don't cheat on your wife. It's better that you file for divorce, and when it's finalized and you got divorce scraped and recovered, you can go and clap all the cheeks you want, but ensure that you don't remarry. Again, do not cheat on your wife if you're a married man. You might get scolded in the family court and certainly the court of public opinion, so just ride that marriage out. With that said, she did not disclose if she was cheating in her marriage, so I won't assume anything. However, she said the passion in the bedroom was gone, so it is safe to assume that she meant she wasn't giving her husband any peace leave, and basically, he got tired of being in a sexless relationship, so he went outside the marriage to bust his nuts. This is super common in long-term marriages, so I am not surprised. But I want you guys to remember that if your wife isn't giving you any stank, then highly likely another man is pushing her guts. This is not always the case, but many times you are in a sexless marriage or relationship, someone else is making your wife or girlfriend bust like a broken pipe. But let's say that he was in a sexless marriage. Well, if he weren't married, he wouldn't be in a sexless marriage in the first place. This is why you don't get married, because most men who get married will end up with little to no sex. Ask any married man by themselves over some drinks, and they will tell you that their bedroom is drier than the Sahara Desert. So if you want a sex-filled life, do not get married. Let's continue. She saw an opportunity as she began picking up the pieces of her shattered life. Because she had never really dated in her 20s, she wanted to make up for lost time. She downloaded Tinder, accepted blind dates, and uncovered a part of her personality she had hidden for decades. You now have the freedom to do whatever you want, Williams told the Post about her revelation. If you want to sleep with 2 men on the same day, you can. If you want to have a tryst in the middle of the day, you're free. The only person who can judge you is yourself. And if you're fine with it, screw everyone else. After 22 years of marriage, Williams made up for lost time on the dating scene. And for a year, that's what she did, hopping in bed with 8 men, which she chronicles in her memoir, available, newly out in paperback release. Some of her affairs were afternoons of toe-curling lust on high-thread count hotel sheets. There was a midnight booty call where she headed to a man's apartment wearing only a silk robe under an oversized puffer jacket. An older man obsessed with oral sex, the well-endowed paramour who invited her for a Wednesday afternoon lunch, followed by a quickie. But she also had a few misses. She recalls one date when a man invited her to come to Brooklyn for a midday cafe meetup. He met her at the subway and invited her back to his place for a cup of coffee. After a round of Folgers, the pair fell into bed together. After round 1, the man quickly requested round 2, which she accepted. While the sex was sober and consensual, Williams realized she had sex with him because she had been fitting into the nice PT mom version of herself, the woman who would always say yes, even if she wasn't entirely into the idea. The question was, do I feel like sleeping with you now, recalls Williams, and it's a literal yes or no. I don't really care about anything else. You don't even have to be a good person. It doesn't matter. Williams says dating in midlife was a superpower, and she embraced her new no-nonsense approach to life and sex. Have you noticed that whenever a woman gets divorced, she almost always goes and rides the CC? Whether she was a virgin when she got married, had a small number of bodies, or was a flat-out 304, damn near all of them go back to the streets. And here I thought women knew how to keep their legs closed, but as you can see, that's a projection that they put onto men because they are the ones who can't keep it in their pants. Instead of focusing on her kids and trying to find another husband, here she is out here being sexually free and liberated. While she was married, I bet she didn't want to give her husband what he signed up for. This is why I tell you guys do not get married, because it's not worth it. And we are only getting her side of the story, so don't believe everything she says. She could have had an affair, used sex as leverage to get what she wanted, or treated her ex-husband like crap. But he cheated, so unfortunately, he has to hold that L. Let's continue. Williams also found time in bed with men to be a great crash course in understanding what makes guys tick. Pillow talk for Williams would be a rapid-fire slew of questions. What do you like about this? How do you feel about that? Because I missed out on knowing that, and I wanted to understand adult men. She also felt dating at midlife was, for her, a superpower. I didn't buy into the theory that because I was older, I was less desirable. Men were very attracted to the fact I was a strong woman who didn't want anything from them and was calling the shots, explains Williams. Gents, this is why I tell you don't date older women. Do you hear this crap? Ladies, I want you guys to understand something. The moment you give a man the one thing of value you have outside of a relationship or marriage, you lose all leverage. I don't care what the women around you are telling you, but once a man gets the cheeks, you lose a couple points. So if none of those men wants to stay after you've given up the cheeks, then they only see you as a layup, and that's it. There's nothing worse than a delusional older ex-dex, I swear. That's why I stay far from them, because there's nothing of substance there. Anyways, continuing. But being a middle-aged mom also meant balancing orgasms with babysitter schedules. If I was having a good date and a man would kiss me goodbye, I would tell them, okay, I have 2 hours. Let's go back to your place, recalls Williams. She says some men were surprised by her forthrightness, but many appreciated her no BS approach to love and lust. Today, Williams has found herself in a relationship, but she is reluctant to label it as such. I'd gotten attached to someone, but I still hold out the openness to say, if I wanted to have a one-night stand with someone, I could still do that. She also wants other women to realize just how much pleasure is out there and how sex can be a powerful tool for moving past heartbreak. The bedroom fun was important to me. It made me alive when I felt dead inside, she says. I found strength that I didn't know I had, she adds. And I also found openness and sexual curiosity that I didn't ever in a million years imagine I was capable of. And this is why I constantly tell you guys that it's over for society. She couldn't have said it any better. There's so much pleasure out there, so go and be a 304 and live it up. That's basically what she's encouraging women to do, and you know what, I have no problem with that. Women are free to do whatever they want to do and experience as much sex as they want with whoever they want. I also know that I am free to walk away and never marry any of these train wrecks after they've exhausted themselves with all the salami they've smuggled. Not only the gents, but the men who have ears and listen to this message are also free to walk away with their wallets and commitments and live their lives on their terms. You guys have options which should not include sacrificing your life for a wife, so you don't have any excuses. Personally, I'm done with relationships. No woman alive can drag me back to the plantation while breath is still in my body. But what say you? Will you allow a wolf in sheep's clothing to deceive and drag you back to the plantation, or will you choose peace, quiet, and freedom? I made my decision a long time ago, so I hope you end up making the right decision for your future self. On the screen is our Season 11 videos that are jam-packed with cold RP information that all men need to know, so click it right now to learn what not to do with modern women.